You can find your way onto your mat, lowering yourself onto your back for your Shavasana. And send the arms and legs out wide to the edges of your mat. Relax the arms, the legs, the fingers, the toes. And tuck your shoulder blades beneath you and invite some length up the back of your neck, allowing the head to fall heavy. Letting go of any distractions around you. Simply drawing your awareness to your mat, to your practice, and to your breath. And start to take some long, deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. Big breath in through the nose and out through the nose. As you breathe in, let the belly rise up towards the ceiling. With a slow breath out, let it soften and lower back down to the mat. Continuing with that slow rhythm, the gentle rise and fall of belly. We'll start to awaken the body by wiggling the fingers and the toes. Find a gentle rotation in the wrist and the ankles in both directions. Settle into stillness with the legs extended to the bottom corners of the mat. Allow the toes to fall out towards the sides of the room with a flex in the ankle. So the toes are pointing to the sides, but also drawn up towards your face. Slowly bring the toes back through center, heels on the mat, toes point up. And then find an internal rotation of the hips. Start to turn the big toes towards the midline, as if they're trying to touch in the center. Bring the toes back through center, pausing there. Draw them towards your face. Keep that deep flex in the ankle as the toes fall out to the side. Trying here to press the pinky toe edge of the feet into the mat, but it's okay if they don't get there. Come back through center. Toes point in. Toes point up. And toes point out. One more time through neutral. And toes point in to touch. Now hold in that position. The ankles flex, the toes pointing towards the center as if you're trying to touch the inner arches to the mat. Continue to breathe as you hold that internal rotation. Being mindful of any discomfort in the knee joints, please come out. Slide the toes back to neutral. Find a gentle roll through the ankles one more time in both directions. Slide the feet together at the bottom of your mat. Bend through just the right knee, bringing the sole of the right foot onto the mat. Left toes draw towards your face, activating the leg. Open the right knee up to the right side wall. Sole of the right foot lands on the left leg, creating a 4 shape with the legs. Square up your hips. Pressing the left hip firmly into the mat. Shoulders are equally weighted on the mat as well. As the left hip grounds down, think about pressing down the outer right knee as well. Creating a sense of openness to the front of your pelvis. Right knee comes through center with or without the help of your hand. And then over to the left, find a twist. Guiding the right knee across the body over to the left side of the room. Option here to place a pillow or a block beneath the knee for support. The right arm can extend wide at your side, gazes to the ceiling or over to the right. Breathe space into the lower right belly. Gaze comes through center. Right knee will follow. And then hug the right knee in close towards you, drawing it in towards your chest for wind relieving pose. Keep that left leg active, left toes draw towards your face, hips are even by sending the right hip away from the shoulders and down into the mat. Every breath in, lengthening from the left heel to the top of the head. Every breath out, gentle compression on the right knee draws it in closer to your chest. Stay here in stillness or start to take gentle rotations with the right knee. Really stabilize through the left hip. Avoid tipping from side to side. Isolate the movement to just the right hip. Take the circles in the opposite direction. And find stillness in the center. Transition the grip of your hands to the back of your right thigh. Left leg still extended long. Start to straighten through the right leg. Send the right foot up towards the sky. If that's a little too much today, you can always bend the left knee, bring the sole of the foot onto the floor. Applying gentle pressure to the back of the right thigh as you send the right hip away from the shoulders and down into the mat. Reach firm through the right heel. I'm looking for a bit of a stretch into the back of the right thigh. Bend the left knee if it's not already. Turn the right toes to face the right side wall. Bend the right knee, let the pinky toe edge of the right foot land on the left thigh for thread the needle or recline pigeon pose. Squeezing the right foot into the left thigh, start to direct the right knee away from your shoulders. As the right knee is reaching away from the shoulders, the right hip is drawn slightly towards them and down into the mat. If you're feeling a nice stretch here, stay as you are, or you could start to draw the left knee towards the outer left ribs, taking hold of the back of the left thigh or maybe the left shin. Lengthening through the spine, grounding down through all four corners of your pelvis. As much as the left knee draws in towards the left shoulder, the right knee is reaching away from the right shoulder. Slowly lower the left foot onto the mat. The right foot joins it. Extend the legs long to the bottom of your mat. Settle in here for a mini shavasana. Just noticing any changes from one side to the other, without attachment, without judgment. Slide the feet together at the bottom of the mat. Bend the left knee, bring the sole of the left foot onto the floor. Then open the left knee up to the left side wall, allowing the sole of the foot to rest on the inside of the right leg somewhere. Right ankle is flexed, right toes draw towards your face as you become active through the right leg. Draw the right kneecap towards the right hip and ground down through the right hip. You can even use your hand to press it into the mat. At the same time, the outer left thigh and knee is pressing down to the mat as well, creating a sense of openness through the pelvis. Choose whatever arm variation feels good in your body. Recline tree pose. One more big breath here. With or without the help of your hand, bring the left knee up through center. Maintaining that bend, come into your twist. Left knee crosses over the body to the right. Landing on a pillow, a block, or just hovering above the floor. Gazes to the ceiling or over to the left. Breathe space into your lower left belly. Gaze comes back through center. Left knee will follow. Hug the left knee in towards you as you extend the right leg long. Wind relieving pose. Find some softness to your upper body. Let the shoulders rest on the floor. Gentle tuck in the chin. Relax through the jaw. Begin to fill your belly with breath. Stay in stillness or take those gentle rotations with the left knee. Stable through the right side of your body. Rotate in the opposite direction. And find stillness for one full breath. Switch the grip to the back of your left thigh. Reach the left foot up towards the ceiling with a flex in the ankle. Look for that hamstring stretch into the back of your thigh here. So maybe your leg isn't quite as high. Maybe the foot's not really facing the ceiling, just working in that direction. Work towards a straight leg, and once you start to feel it bend, just pause in that point. It's okay to have a little micro bend in the knee, as long as you're still feeling the stretch in the back of the thigh. Every breath in, lengthen. Send the left hip crease away from the shoulders, down into the mat. Every breath out, maybe you apply gentle pressure to the back of the thigh. Bend the right knee if it's not already bent. Turn the left toes to the left side of the room. And bend the left knee, bringing the right foot onto the left, bringing the left foot rather onto the right thigh. Square up your hips first. The shoulders and the hips are square with each other and with the mat. Without shifting the hips, start to send the left knee away from your shoulders. Then decide if you're not quite feeling the stretch, if you'd like to draw the right knee in towards you, take hold of the back of the thigh. Keep pressing down firm through the pelvis, but maintain softness in the upper body. Slowly release the right foot onto the mat. Let the left foot join it. Take a gentle rock of the knees from side to side. Land in the center, heel toe, the feet towards one another. Let the soles of the feet come to touch, the knees fall wide open, creating a diamond shape with the legs. You can support beneath the knees with pillows or yoga blocks, or you can slide the feet away from your pelvis to let this be more restorative, more restful. The chest and belly are soft as they ride the waves of your breath. The legs surrender to gravity. Reach the right arm up overhead, using the left hand as a guide. Draw the left knee through center and over to meet the right, coming over onto your right side body. Hug the knees in towards your chest, rounding through the back body. And melt into the mat beneath you. And you can use your right arm as a pillow, let the left palm rest softly on the floor or on your body. And when you feel ready in your own time, find your way up to a tabletop position. The shoulders over the wrist, hips over the knees. We'll move through a few cat and cows. Take a big breath in, lift the tailbone, let the belly drop, heart comes forward, gaze comes up. On an exhale, scoop the tailbone beneath you. Round through the spine, hollow out your chest and gaze to your belly. Big breath in, cow pose, lifted tailbone, heart comes forward and up. Exhale, cat, rounded spine, scoop the tailbone, gaze to the belly. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale. Exhale. Big breath in. Stay with that same movement, or as you exhale, round the spine, chin to chest. Hips go back to the heels for a rounded back child's pose. Keep that chin tucked in close. As you breathe in, relax through the arms, let the forearms rest on the mat. Glide your heart and chin close to the mat forward between the hands. Press up through the palms into your cow. Exhale, rounded back, chin to chest. Send the hips back. Inhale, glide forward. When the heart and chin meet the hands, press up into your cow. Either variation. 3 more at your own pace. Linking each movement to a breath. And allowing each cycle to be a little bit slower than the one before it. No rush at all, but when you get there, just land in a neutral spine. Maybe a gentle sway from side to side, sending one shoulder to the hip, then the other. Letting the head fall heavy as you release to the back of your neck. Find stillness in the center. Walk the knees back a couple of inches. Shoulders over wrist, modified plank. Belly button and low ribs draw in. Squeeze the inner thighs towards one another as the outer hips reach out and back behind you. Lengthen through the spine as you breathe in. As you breathe out, bend through the elbows, slowly lower onto your mat. And press down through the tops of your feet. through the toenails, so much so that the knees start to lift, the thighs and glutes engage. Little to no weight in the hands, draw the elbows in towards the ribs and back behind you to open up through the chest. The gaze is down towards the mat, maintaining length up the back of your neck. Press down to those feet. Inhale, lengthen and lift. Collarbones and 1 or 2 ribs comes up off of the mat. Exhale to lower. And if you have low back sensitivity, you can create a little space between your feet. Try that again. Big breath in, lengthen and lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lengthen and lift. Exhale, lower. 1 more time, lengthen and lift. This time we're going to hold. So we're holding the lift but not the breath. Keep those elbows reaching back towards the heels. Press down through your feet firm. And keep breathing. Avoid shifting the gaze from side to side. Stay long through the back of your neck, reaching through the top of your head. 1 more big breath in. Slowly lower down. Big toes come to touch, heels go wide apart. Turn your gaze to the right, letting the left ear find the floor. Extend the arms back behind you at your sides, palms face up. Just take a few moments here on your belly. Let that go. Gaze comes back through center. Gentle tuck in the chin. Arms come out at the sides, similar to the cobra pose we were just in. So start with the hands beneath the shoulders, and then slide them out to the edges of your mat, a little bit wider this time. The heels come in towards one another. Shoelace side of the feet are still on the floor. Again, you can create some space between the feet to help create room in the low back. Elbows point up at the sky. With a big breath in, lengthen and lift. You can use your palms here a little to add some height. Exhale, lower down. Gaze is neutral towards the floor. Inhale, lengthen and lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lengthen and lift. Exhale, lower. Lengthen and lift. This time we're going to hold the lift and lower just the right shoulder on the exhale. Left shoulder lifts up high. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, left shoulder lowers, right shoulder stays lifted. It does not have to touch. Inhale, lift. Exhale, right. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, left. Inhale, lift. 1 more each side. Slowly lower with control. Release the arms at your sides, gaze turns left. Big toes come to touch, heels fall apart. Let your gaze come through neutral. Bring the left arm out in front of you. You can rest your forehead on that. Heels draw towards one another. Shoelace side of the feet is facing the floor. Draw the right heel in towards your glutes. You can reach back with the right hand or you can use a strap. Draw the right heel in towards your bum. Press down firm through your pelvis. If you had jeans on, from the base of your zipper all the way up to the button is pressing into the mat. At the same time, the entire length of the right thigh is pressing into the mat and the right heel hugs into you, towards your bum. Create length between the right knee and the top of your head. Slowly release the right foot. We'll move to the opposite side. Right arm comes beneath your forehead. Left heel draws in. Reach back with the left hand. Take hold of whatever is accessible. So maybe that means using a strap. Draw the left heel in close towards you as you press down firm through the entire length of your left thigh. And press down firm through the base of your zipper. Lengthen from the tailbone to the top of your head. Slowly release. Bring the hands beneath the shoulders. Press yourself up through tabletop. Tuck your toes behind you and walk the hips back towards your heels, coming to sit on the heels. So you want your toes tucked, the heels over the toes, sitting onto the heels. This can be a pretty intense stretch for the soles of your feet. So you can keep your fingers here on the mat. If you have a little more room, you can walk the hands up onto your thighs and sit up tall. Keep the inner heels drawn towards each other. They're often going to want to try and tip out to the sides. Keep equal weight on big toe mound and pinky toe mound of your feet. If you need a little more stretch, you can start to slide the knees slightly away, just changing the angle of the base of the toes. Coming out at any time that this becomes too much. Otherwise, you can close your eyes, keep the shoulders stacked above the hips, and sit up tall. Hands can be on your thighs, or the palms can come to touch in front of your heart. Opening up some of the tight fascia in the soles of the feet, the inner arches. The longer you hold this pose, you may actually start to feel the stretch moving up the back of the calves and even into the thighs. All of those tissues are connected. We so seldom stretch out the feet, but we spend so much time on them. And release the hands back onto the mat slowly. Return to your tabletop. Give the ankles a bit of a roll, tap the toes on the mat. Big toes come to touch, knees go wide apart. Find a child's pose. Shift your hips back towards the heels, slide the fingertips away, allowing the forehead to rest on the floor. Invite yourself to use pillows or props here if you need. You can place one behind the kneecaps, under the hips, or even in front of you to bring the floor closer up towards your forehead. And keep the same leg position. Start to walk your hands over to the right. Ground down heavy through the left hip. Come back through center for one big breath. Then over to the left. Back through center. And up to tabletop. Find that gentle sway from side to side. Let that go. And land in neutral. Here from your neutral position, we're going to extend the right leg long behind us. Tuck the toes like we did sitting on the floor. And start to send the right heel back behind you. Pressing down as if you're trying to step the sole of the right foot onto the mat. Bring a little more weight into the big toe mound of the right foot. Just creating a stretch up the back of your right calf. And shift your weight forward, hips over heel, over knee. Turn the right toes to face the right side wall. We're going to slide the right foot over to the right side. And so you're lining up the inner arch of the right foot with the left knee, creating a triangle with the legs. Right knee, inner arch. Walk the hands towards you, rise up all the way. And shift the left hip so that it's over the left knee. Press down firm through the pinky toe edge of the left foot. Inhale, reach up. Find some length. As you exhale, right hand comes onto the right leg. Slide down the leg, reach the left fingertips up and over to the right. Keep the left hip drawn over to the left, and the heart stays open to the room in front of you. That left shoulder is going to want to creep towards the floor here, so just watch out for that. Rise up on the in-breath. Exhale, left hand comes onto the mat or onto a block. Reach the right fingertips high. And then up overhead. Creating a long line between the right fingertips and the pinky toe edge of the right foot. Really press firm through the right foot. That pinky toe edge is pressing down into the mat as if it's trying to slide the mat away from you. As if you're drawing a big circle, start to show your heart towards the mat. Bring the right fingertips towards the floor. Walk the hands forward until you're in line with the pelvis. Right hand is firm on the mat. Keep that triangle shape with the legs. Inhale, reach up with the left hand. Exhale, thread the left hand through, over towards the right foot. I'm just going to pivot my ankle here so you can see a little better. Start to lower the head towards the mat, top left corner of the head. If this is too much, you can always bend the right knee and come into a tabletop position with the legs. Choose the arm variation that feels best for you. Maybe you slide the right arm forward or reach it back towards your low back, maybe taking hold of the left thigh. Right hand returns to the mat. Press it down to the right, reach the left hand high. Look up. Left hand finds the mat. Slide the right foot in to meet the left, land in a tabletop pose. So we're back here where we started. Take a gentle sway from side to side, let that go. We'll move to the opposite side. Left leg reaches out long, tuck the toes, lower it to your mat. Press down through the left heel. Lengthen up the back of your left leg. Square up the hips, square up the shoulders as you press down firm through the left heel. Equal weight, pinky toe mound, big toe mound on the left foot. Shift a little bit of weight forward. Turn the left toes to face the left side wall. Slide your left foot over to the left side. Bringing the inner arch of the left foot in line with the right knee. Create a triangle shape with the legs. Start to walk the hands in. Rise up onto the hips. Adjusting the hips so that the right hip is over the right knee. Left toes point forward. Press down through the pinky toe edge of the left foot. Stay active through the legs, so it's as if you're drawing the left foot towards the right knee, bunching the mat up in the middle without actually moving them. Inhale, reach up. Find some length. Exhale, left hand to the left thigh. Slide the left hand down the leg. Right fingertips reach over to the right. Gaze is forward, chest is square. See if you can keep that right hip over the right knee. Keep it drawn towards the right side of the room, and the right heart stays open. So slide the right chest up and back behind you. Rise back up. Right fingertips come down onto the mat. Or if you have a block or something nearby, you can bring the hand onto there instead to create some space. Left fingertips reach up towards the sky first, and then up overhead, creating a long line between the left fingertips and the pinky toe edge of the left foot. Again, watch that chest. It's going to want to barrel roll forward. Open it up to the room in front of you. As if you're drawing that big circle, start to turn the chest towards the mat. Left fingertips come down, walk the hands forward until you're back to a neutral position. Left palm takes the weight, right fingertips reach up high, gaze up. And we're going to slowly slide the right arm through the space between your arm and your body. Palm faces up. Right fingertips are going over to the left. Lower the right shoulder to the mat, the top right corner of your head. Again, you can always release the left knee here. Come into a tabletop for the same pose. Left hand slides forward. Or it can reach for your low back, maybe going over the back and taking hold of the right thigh to open your chest up to the left. Left hand comes back to the floor in front of you. Press down firm, open up, reach up high. Right hand comes to the mat. Slide the left leg in to meet the right. Find your tabletop. Gentle sway from side to side. From your tabletop, keep the hips lifted over the knees. Start to slide the hands away from you, creating a longer misshaped table. As the fingertips slide away, start to lower your heart down towards the mat. Keep the hips lifted. So not quite a child's pose where the hips go back. We're just lowering the heart towards the mat. Gaze is down. The chest does not have to touch the floor. If the chest is close to the floor or touching the floor, you can bring your gaze forward and draw your chin to the floor as well. Puppy pose. Keep breathing into your back body. Slowly rise up. Find your tabletop. Knees stay narrow. Send your hips back towards your heels. Let your forehead rest on the floor, sliding the fingers away for a narrow leg child's pose. And then bring the arms back behind you, fingertips reaching for the toes. Let your forehead rest on the floor as you round through the back body. Tuck the chin in and soften through the shoulders. Breathe space into the low back, the mid back, and the upper back. Slide the arms out in front of you. Find your way up through tabletop. We'll come to land on our backs. Coming to rest on your back with the knees bent to begin. Walk the feet over to the edges of the mat. Let the knees tip in to touch. Place one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart, and simply relax on the mat here. Connecting with the breath and allowing the low back to settle into the mat. Keep the feet just as they are. Draw the knees further apart. And with this wide stance in the legs, start to tip the knees over to the right. Release your arms at your sides. Gaze can go to the left. The left hip is reaching up and over to the right as the left knee presses down for the mat. Gaze comes back through center, knees will follow. Check in, see if the feet have slid closer together. Can you widen your stance again? The knees stay wide apart as they start to tip over to the left this time. I'm just taking note of any change in tightness from one side to the other. Maybe you find this more challenging on one side, that's normal. Gaze is at the ceiling or over to the right as you send the right hip up towards the sky and over to the left. The right inner thigh, the right knee is pressing down for the mat. Breathe space into the right waist, the right outer hip, wherever you're feeling that stretch. Gaze comes back through center. The knees will follow. Heel toe, the feet through center. Let the soles of the feet come to touch. The knees fall open like a book. Place one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart, and close the eyes. Let the soles of the feet support one another as the knees grow heavy. Invite a sense of openness through the pelvis, the hips, and the glutes. The eyes are closed. The eyeballs grow heavy in their sockets. Relax the jaw. Allow the tongue to fall away from the roof of your mouth. A gentle tuck in the chin lengthens the back of the neck as the head grows heavy. melting deeper and deeper into the mat with each breath. The shoulders tucked beneath you invites a sense of openness through the front of the chest and the throat. With the hand on the belly and the chest, just witness the breath as it moves through your body. Gentle rise and fall with every breath. Maintaining that connection between breath and the hands. Slowly, one by one, release the feet to the bottom corners of your mat. Relaxing through the ankles, let the toes grow heavy to the side and quickly return your attention to the breath. The hands riding the breath like waves in an ocean. Without losing the awareness of breath, slowly release the arms at your sides as well, palms face up. The arms, the legs start to melt into the mat as the breath naturally begins to slow. And taking a few moments here on your back, connected to your breath. And when the time feels right to get up and go, do so slowly and mindfully, moving at half the speed your body naturally wants to take you. Maybe you take with you into the rest of your week a little bit of the sense of calm and ease you've cultivated here on your mat today. With such gratitude as always, namaste.